Around this time last year, I was in a terrible depression. I wasn't going to the gym, I wasn't eating healthy, my sleep schedule was garbage, and I was addicted to cheap pleasures like video games and mindless social media consumption. I was doing so many bad habits at the time, and I didn't even realize that they were bad. That was just the lifestyle I was living, and I was just okay with it. I was okay with playing 1 to 3 hours of video games a day. I was okay with staying up till 2 a.m. or 4 a.m. some nights, eating Taco Bell. I was also working at a job that I hated, and I desperately wanted to get out of it. And I had been living this way for months at this point. This was also the time when I was looking for ways to improve myself financially. I was researching about finance and real estate and looking for profitable careers that you could get without a college degree, since I had only just graduated high school and I did not plan to go to college. I barely made it through high school. So I had these big dreams of being financially free, but the lifestyle that I was living and those dreams, they didn't align. I had the goals of someone who had their life together, but I had the identity of someone who was suffering. And that's why I wasn't able to find the motivation in me to start making changes in my life. So motivation is useless. What you actually need is identity change. So many people attribute their inability to pursue their goals as a lack of motivation or lack of discipline, but they have it all wrong. You do in fact have motivation. The fact that you want to make change proves that you have motivation. You just don't change. If you have the identity of someone who is out of shape, you will stay out of shape. If you have the identity of an athlete, you will be an athlete. If you have the identity of a broke person, you're going to be broke forever. And if you have the identity of someone with a high income, you will have a high income. And I know that might sound easier said than done, but it really isn't. It is that easy. It just takes a while. The reason why identity is so potent is because it shapes the thoughts and actions that we take throughout the day that make up our life. So you already have an identity right now, whether you realize it or not. Whatever habits you do currently, good or bad, you're doing them because of your identity. Take, for example, a good student. They have the identity of a good student, right? Not me. So what kind of habits does a good student have? They stay up to date on their assignments, they study for tests, and they always show up to class on time, right? These are all the habits that make them a good student. So what about someone who has nice hair? If you have the identity of someone who is well groomed, also not me, you will work to keep that identity. And this requires you to adopt the habits necessary to do so. You see where I'm getting at here? When you're the kind of person who does something, you don't need motivation to do it. It's just part of who you are. I used to hate reading, and I used to tell myself and other people that I hated reading. And I never read the books that were assigned in school either. And when I started to read self-improvement books, I was struggling to stay focused. But I knew that it would be beneficial for me to adopt the identity of a reader, so I picked up Atomic Habits. And that book has completely changed my life. And to help make this video, I've actually been using today's sponsor, Shortform. For those of you that don't know, Shortform provides detailed summaries for nonfiction books that give you the key concepts without the fluff. They're super detailed, so you get the book's key points at a deep level. And they have interactive exercises to help you apply the lessons that you've learned, so you don't forget them like I do when I read a book. They add smart insights, like what one author thinks about another author, and you end up understanding the ideas at a deep level and building these awesome connections between ideas. So when I was using the Atomic Habits summary to make this video, Shortform mentioned an idea from another summary of the book called Awaken the Giant Within by Tony Robbins, which helped me learn even more about identity change to help make this video. I also used Shortform to make the procrastination video, where I mentioned ideas from Stephen Pressfield's book, The War of Art. Some of my favorite summaries on Shortform are Meditations by Marcus Aurelius, Deep Work by Cal Newport, and The Way of the Superior Man by David Dita. So by joining through my link, shortform.com/Abraham, you'll receive a free trial of unlimited access with an additional 20% discounted annual subscription. This will give you access to the key ideas in Atomic Habits and thousands of other books for the price of one book a month. So check the description if you're interested, and thank you Shortform for sponsoring this video. Don't change your diet to change your life. Change your life to change your diet. You have to adopt the beliefs and the habits of the person that would do that thing without motivation. So if you're in an undesirable situation, why are you looking for motivation to get you out of it? Let's talk about negative beliefs. Since I see too many of you guys who destroy any chance of you doing great things before you even try it. I can't and I don't know how are the worst things that you could say to yourself. Don't set goals of what you think you can do. Set goals of what you want to do. If you think you can't start a YouTube channel, then obviously you can't. You just defeated yourself by saying that. You ruined any chances of you actually doing the thing because you told yourself that you can't do it, feeding into that negative identity that's causing you to live the way that you are. Your brain is what got you into this situation in the first place. It can't be trusted. Trust the brains of the people that have what you want and emulate them, emulate their identity. I was having a conversation in my Discord about this exact thing the other day. This guy kept on coming up with excuses as to why he couldn't start a YouTube channel. And I kept on destroying every one of his limiting beliefs one by one to the point where he had nothing left. There's no excuses for anything. If I'm on your side, then why aren't you on your side? So how do you actually integrate that identity? In order to adopt the identity that you want, you can start doing what I call building your integrated identity. So as of right now, you have been brainwashed and indoctrinated to believe everything that you know from other people around you and by social media, especially on social media. Next time you look at comments under a post, observe the language that people are using. Every few months there seems to be a new set of vocabulary that people are adopting. And you can notice this especially on apps like TikTok and Instagram. This happened a few years ago when everyone started saying y'all. And more recently, I've noticed a lot of people using the word yap. I don't know where that came from, but I don't like it. I had someone comment under one of my videos saying 15-minute yap session, and I didn't even know what to say to that. The more that people watch and read things online, the more it starts to influence their thoughts, behavior, and terminology. And you are people. So become conscious of this and take advantage of it. Stop being a mindless consumer online and become a researcher. Follow creators that have what you want: mind, body, spirit, wealth, charisma, looks. What is that person doing to have those things that you aren't doing? How can you learn from them? Choose someone and drown yourself in their content and products to learn what they do and how it can apply to your life. When you willingly put yourself in an echo chamber of positive identity, you will soon follow. But you cannot do this if you choose to be a mindless consumer. This is why I recommend that if you're on self-improvement and you're using social media, make new accounts. Only follow the people that serve you and block anyone that would be a distraction. You need to guard your focus. I did this with Hamza. I watched probably 50% of his content, and I've learned and implemented the habits and behaviors that I felt would benefit me. It's conscious consumption. So once you started researching your integrated identity, you need to actually apply the knowledge learned to real life. The ultimate form of intrinsic motivation is when a habit becomes part of your identity. It is one thing to say, I'm the type of person who wants this. It is something very different to say, I'm the type of person who is this. So look at this graphic. Identity-driven habits focus on shaping your self-image and guiding your choices. Process-driven habits emphasize the skills and methods to perform tasks effectively, while goal-driven habits are the driving force behind achieving specific outcomes. If you notice, you'll see that identity-driven habits are at the core. This is because you need to start with the desired identity you want to find the habits that lead to the desired goal. So let's say you're trying to become a YouTuber. Most people think that in order to do it, you need to start with the goal, but you're skipping a step. What you actually need is to develop the identity of a YouTuber. Then you can form goals from that. So what kind of goals align with that identity? Then you develop systems that get you to those goals. What are the daily tasks and habits that will get me to that goal? Reflect on your current identity and habits. Are they in alignment with your aspirations? And if they aren't, you should know by now what you need to do. Remember, change begins with a conscious choice to decide who you are. So start taking steps towards who you want to become. That is all for now. One-to-one coaching in the description. You have the Discord. Sign up to the newsletter. I'm never gonna get used to this outro thing. See ya.